Hello everyone, today I have another drawing for you. I hope you enjoy it. This drawing took me almost 5 hours to draw, and the time-lapse footage ended up being about 30 minutes of time-lapse footage, which I edited down to 10.5 minutes, so hope you enjoy it. This is almost 5 hours condensed down into 10 minutes of video. For this drawing, I started kind of in the upper mid region of the page and really focused on that for a while and eventually branched out. When I was first doing this drawing, I didn't like it that much, but decided to keep with it and ended up spending a lot of time really polishing it and making it good because I ended up liking it more when I added more details. The more I polished it, the more I liked it, and the more motivated I was to continue with it. Now, I'll be honest, I tried doing this voiceover several days ago, several times. One time getting all the way to 7 minutes of talking, and then I just went silent and couldn't think of anything to say. So for this one, I'm gonna give it another go today, and maybe end up doing it in multiple clips. Who knows? We'll see. Just ordered a new computer today, a laptop that I can use for video editing and for general computery things. So I'm excited about that. That way I don't have to constantly unplug or turn off, shut down, and unplug our family computer and move that into my room and continually use that. I can have my own separate workstation that'll be really accessible, and yeah. So that is really exciting for me. As you can see, I drew this kind of lower jaw section to this drawing, which that was kind of one of the parts that I really didn't end up liking, but I kept polishing it, and eventually it was like, it actually kind of looks cool the way it's shaped. This drawing ended up being some sort of goblin type thing, just that head portion of it, and I decided to kind of go with this exhibit type thing. So you'll see the drawing looks like a museum, and the main exhibit is this goblin creature, which ended up looking really cool, and I ended up calling it the Karaoke Disco Party Goblin. One of my favorite parts of this drawing is the ear that I drew, and you'll see I add some really nice detail to that, which I thought it just turned out really good. And also there's a disco ball part that I draw, which you'll see I'm starting to draw right here, and that was probably my second favorite part of the drawing. Those two parts I was actually considering cutting out or somehow leaving out part of the drawing and just continuing with those and developing those, and maybe I'll do another drawing where I kind of keep those themes and continue with those themes, because I really liked how those turned out, the ear and the disco ball, just the way I drew those. I think the disco ball part is really what made me want to call it the Karaoke Disco Party Goblin. So yeah, my brother was pointing out to me that this particular drawing, like the centerpiece, which looks kind of like this sculpture arty thing, he said he could see that being like a centerpiece in some city, and just a huge thing on display, which I thought was pretty cool. And just imagine it like blasting music out of its speakers and different things like that. I drew other parts of the drawing, which are other weird sculptures and things on display, which you'll see in a little bit, and I kind of enjoyed just adding more things in the background as opposed to making it all one glob of a drawing. And eventually, towards the end, making the entire background of the drawing black, which really made the different sculptures pop out. So I'm getting better with the editing on DaVinci Resolve. As you can see, I'm cutting quite a lot and using this transition called the center wipe, I believe is what it is, which I was messing around with a bunch of the different transitions, and that one just seemed like the best one, the most, it was like simple, but kind of still eye-catching and nice. Yeah, as you can see, I'm drawing these little weird blobby creatures that are just kind of going around touring the museum. This one is pushing off a sign that says that the Goblin is sold. And I am wondering, you can use your imagination, who do you think bought the Goblin? I have no idea. Anyway, the party Goblin I detailed a lot and made extra polish on it, whereas you'll see the things in the background, I did some polish on them, but they were kind of not the center of attention, so I didn't want to add too much polish on them either. Now, for almost 5-hour drawing, this was quite a feat, because considering how long it was, I did this in about one day, in one sitting almost, with a couple of breaks to use the bathroom and for stretching and various things like that. For future reference, I think I will break up my drawings into multiple days, because I really feel like that was just too long of me drawing and sitting down. My hand, could have used more breaks, and I could have used more breaks to get exercise or go outside or just do something different than sitting down and drawing, but oh well. So yeah, I liked how this drawing ended up turning out. I will say, doing the voiceover, I had a lot of trouble trying to get the voiceover right and be able to talk for 10 minutes straight, because it's just such a long time to be able to talk for, especially just off the top of your head when you're not really thinking about what to say and all that sort of stuff. Lately, I have been into creative stuff. I've been messing around with this music producing tool called Org Maker, which was developed by Pixel, or Daisuke Amaya. Pixel is his video game creator name, game dev name. He was the creator of Cave Story, which is a really popular older game that I really like, and that's one of my favorite games. And so he created this software called Org Maker, which he used to create all of the music for Cave Story. And he made it available to the public for free, and you can download that. I'll put a link in the description. But yeah, I've really enjoyed that. It's kind of like a 8-bit retro video game-esque music creation tool, which I've really enjoyed using, and I've had several different projects on there for a while that have been developed more or less to some finished more or less to some extent, but this one that I just created was really the first polished piece. And yeah, the more I use the program, the more I learn different tools, and I'm able to polish the songs more and more, and I'm just really enjoying learning a lot about how to develop your creative interests and really polish them. Hope you enjoyed the video, everyone. This was quite a huge video for me to make. #no regrets. As you can see, the style of this video is very clean compared to my one-off voice recording, which is pretty sloppy, to be honest. But that's the idea, is that I get better at talking the more and more I do this. And it's really just a huge exercise for me to be able to talk to you guys like this. So a lot of the editing, you'll see I tried to do the same thing that I did in the last video, which is to cut out a lot of the boring stuff and really get the key details in and just the exciting stuff. Now you'll see I'm coloring the background with a black Magnum Sharpie, which started to run out. You can see right there. So I came in with another smaller chisel tip Sharpie to add more lines to it and add more darkness to it. And then eventually at the very end, you'll see I come in with my repeatograph to really get all of the edges to make sure that those are good. Now I will say that for part of this drawing, I was listening to the David Blaine Joe Rogan podcast, which I highly recommend. I will put that in the description, link to that in the description. And so I was a little bit more relaxed when doing the repeatograph outlining for the filling in the background. So I'm doing that slowly. So I edited most of that out because this was like 4 minutes of video. You can do the math. The time lapse is 10 times as much. Anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and like, and hopefully I'll get more content out soon, and it's just going to keep getting better. This is just me finally getting off the ground. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Love you guys.